Thank you, Chérie Desil. Welcome to... Chérie Desil, elle attend même pas. C'est comme si tu payes ta place de cinéma, quoi. Thank you so much for your support, Chérie Desil. It means a lot. Welcome to Club Shada, episode 193. Ooh, it is Sunday. I have allergies in my eyes because it's the spring. My eyes have been crying for 4 days. It's a pain in the ass. But you know, it is what it is. We have to do what we have to do. I hope everybody's fine. I hope everybody's in good spirit. I hope the music is not too loud. Listen. Yay! This show is brought to you by Shada, where the gods of good fortune. Thanks to all the new subscribers out here. Yes. Welcome home, David, Aisha, Serge Galiano, Vivi, etc., etc. Know that, listen, if you act good, you leave some good comments, you leave some likes, you'll be welcome here anytime. Start acting a fool, you will be removed. Just like that. No alerts, nothing. We're just like, poof, disappear. Banned for life. There's thousands of them. This channel is like 16 years old. So, of course, there's a bunch of, people who have been, I don't even know if these people are still on YouTube, but there's a bunch of people who probably when they were 20, they got banned, and they're probably like 35. Sorry, 35 right now. That's the beauty of it. Listen, first of all, I want to acknowledge the stream royalty, the sister Siren Desil with $71 for the month of... Wait, we're in April. This should go back to zero. Well, I guess it's Monday, so starting tomorrow. But anyway, $71 this month. Really, Siren Desil, thank you so much. You pay the electricity of this show by yourself. And also all the sponsors, thank you so much. Not forgetting those who also are donating every month on Patreon, just like Jennifer and our good friend. And of course, now I don't want to tell her name. Her name disappears. That's beautiful. Damn, what's her name? Let me go to my Patreon. I have the name here. Oh my God. I go to Patreon because now I'm going to feel bad if I don't. Let me log in. Maybe she's not a Patreon anymore. Let me see. Who are my Patreons? Give me a second. Memberships. Oh, I can't. Oh my God. Creator account. All right. 2 Patreons. Why can I see their names? Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know who they are. They know who they are. Oh, Charlene Rukaya, of course. There you go. You got Charlene Rukaya, Jennifer, and other people who are on Patreon giving $10 every month. So thank you so much. Hopefully when I have enough Patreons, or maybe when I have access to the YouTube membership, I can finally, send everybody out here. And but yeah, it is what it is. Joel, my good cousin, I hope you're doing fine. I hope everybody's in the family is right. Send my regards to your father. 7:44 p.m. Niagara Falls. You on the computer. Hey. What's goody, Nadia? 144 in France. Hi, Julie Badi. I hope you're doing good. See, today I call you by your real name. So I like to change. Like, I change nicknames all the time. I also hope to. Everybody, I hope you like the live. This is how we do. Really, you got a notification. That's beautiful. Thank you, Shirin Desil. Body is fine. Just came back from a super successful show out there in Holland, in the Netherlands. So he's super happy. But he was super tired too. We were supposed to dine together, but he bailed on me. See, these people. Catherine Long. Hello. Bienvenue à ton cours d'anglais. Ooh. Oh là là là. Edmonton, 5:50 p.m. in Canada. I think my first Club Shada live will be actually in Canada because I'm sure I'm gonna have at least 10 people. You know. Hey. So, how you been? How's everybody been? How's the spirit? How was your weekend? My weekend was great. Today I had a long day. I'm actually super tired. I went to jog at 9 something a.m. Then after that I came back around 12, I think. Took a quick shower and then took my daughter to the oceanarium. We have the biggest oceanarium in Europe here, and it's in my neighborhood. So we did that. From there, we went to dinner with a friend of mine who just arrived from Kinshasa, Irene, and with her 2 daughters and sister and mother. So all of us, we went to have a lunch. And after that, I took Asha to the park. And when I arrived at home, it was around 5 p.m. and I was just tired. So I think I slept a bit, but my wife went to see her dad, then she went to the movies. So we were like, yeah, it was just me and my daughter, but we were tired. I was tired. She was, every time I was falling asleep, she would just ask for something. Patience, you must have patience. So yeah, I'm hungry. Okay, I want candies. Okay, I want to drink water. Okay, I want to drink juice. Okay, I want to do this. Okay, can you please wear clothes to my Barbie? Okay, can you do? I was like, why can't you let me sleep? I think I slept probably on and off 2 hours. Then I had a very interesting conversation, a WhatsApp chat conversation with Bruno of Mashkizomba. That was cool too. We're having some geopolitical conversation. And after that, I think I started watching the Grammys. And I think I watched probably 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then I don't know. I think I'm first of all, I was not, how can I say that? I was not I don't know. It didn't seem like, you don't come for the decor, right? You come for you don't care if it's fancy or not. But I don't know. It seemed very simple. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But at the same time, listen, after a whole from this year since this year has begun, like every week there's a new something. The information never stops. And growing up, we were in a world where the only information you had was those 4 or 5 channels that were on TV and the journal. And it was like 5 newspapers, 3 TV channels, and whatever was going on there was the truth. And everything else was the real truth, actually. But for us back in the days, growing up, we didn't have any other source of information, so that was the truth. And even when I would go to the US and there was a lot of channels, or I would go to London, there was a lot of channels, or Belgium that had cable, I would actually go there to be able to watch MTV, because we didn't have MTV in France growing up. It arrived later. But like to be able to see your MTV Raps, it was only when we would be in the Waterloo House in Brussels. And that's where I could see like the songs that I like Will Smith and the Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff, Summertime. That's the Summertime 1992. Like all these songs, to me, they also are attached to Belgium. But like CNN, for example, news in English, that would be when I would be in Belgium or outside. When we were in Paris, grew up, we had like 3 TV channels, and then when we arrived to 6 TV channels, it was amazing. And I'm not saying that what they were saying was the truth, but because we didn't have any other source of information, it was the truth. What they were saying on TV was what was going on. So if they were saying this guy is good, it was good. If they were saying this guy is bad, it was bad. And then the expert would come in and they would tell us what we need to know. And if you would disagree with what they would say, you would be at the bar drinking your beer and saying, yo, these guys don't know what they're talking about, and debating with your friends, and you would be 3-4 of us, and it would stay there. And fast forward to 40 years later, not only we have access to 300 channels on the cable, where everybody is trying to give us a certain point of view or a certain opinion. We also have on YouTube, we have the rest of the channels that are also giving us snippets of everything. Plus every independent news source that are giving us something, plus me and everybody that's live that is also telling the gospel to their church, and plus everybody else that is giving their opinion on everything. So we all end up consuming so much content that at a point we are out of breath. We are out of mental breath, because I don't know, like if I check my YouTube history, I'll probably watch. Let me check. Simple as that. If I check my YouTube history, so I watched a bit of the Grammys, Brand Says podcast. I watched a 1984 Zouk video from Tanya Saval in Vikin. My new video with Bodhisattva that just came out. People talking about Will Smith. Nice houses, Grammys, hip hop podcast, something in French, Ukraine, Will Smith, YouTube, Will Smith, Apple, Will Smith, Ukraine, Will Smith, geopolitics, Will Smith, hip hop, Ukraine. And I mean, I'm consuming so much content on the internet, and I can decide what I want to watch, which is the freedom. But at the same time, we kind of binge on content because not only we have an opinion on something, but at the same time, we're having debate inside of our WhatsApp groups about that same thing. And at the same time, we go on YouTube to hear the opinions of everybody, the people that we agree with, the people we disagree with, and some people, they just want to hear the content of the people they agree with, and some others, they only want to go to the people they disagree with and then go in the comments and insult everybody and explain to everybody that the way they feel is the only way possible, etc. And between Kanye, Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Ukraine, Will Smith for 3 days, and listen, I didn't have anything left in terms of my possibility to not explode listening to content and reading all the comments online about the Grammys. Yeah, like I was just like, I hope nobody goes crazy. That's the only thing I said to myself. Everything else actually, yeah, I could not do nothing for those people. Like, and some people, they don't realize when they overdose on content. Like me, I know when my mind is like, nah, listen, let me go back to watching some kung fu flicks or some series and just enjoy something we have without having to think about it, without having to have an opinion on it, without having to have long voice note with different people and imagine. I speak French, I speak English, I speak Portuguese most of the time. So with those people, I'm having sometimes the same debates in 3 different languages about the same things. And at a point, yeah, you're just tired of. And it's not the fact that things happen, because life happens. It's just the amount of content that is generated by what happens. And the fact that everybody has an opinion today. Everybody always had an opinion, but everybody has an opinion and a platform. So if you want to know what people think about Will Smith and the Chris Rock situation, you probably have 10,000 videos right now, and it's probably 100,000. Like, it's, and I probably watched 200 of them. And it's like, yo, it's unfortunate what's happening, because that's exactly what I thought that would happen. He resigned and from the Academy of Motions of Arts, etc. And they still don't know if they're gonna take his Oscar. But now he's having, I mean, in 6 months everybody will have forgotten about that. But everybody's overreacting now, and Netflix is posing one movie. Bad Boys 4 is, Sony's like, I don't know. Like, everybody's like, bro, you're stinking a little bit. And all these people were on standing ovation, like when he got his Oscar finally. But now, yeah, you're gonna have like, everybody's realizing that it's not a good look, and everybody's gonna pick the side of the internet. Like, the majority of people are shocked, and now, yeah, you have to assume the consequences of your actions. So if you assume your actions, listen, you take your L like a grown person, and it's gonna be all right. Like, after, especially in the US, they love the story of the redemption. So in around 6 months, he will reappear. I don't know what he's gonna do. I'm not him. What I would tell him is just disappear from everything for at least a month or two, and maybe then once you wanna reappear, you reappear on your YouTube channel and you talk about the things you learned. You take the time to discreetly and privately reach out to Chris Rock. You guys talk about it. You know each other 30 years, so you can talk about it. You can apologize and have the conversation between you guys, and move on from this, because it's a very strange and I mean, listen, you do what you want. I would say not on the IKEA table, but it's your life. You do what you want. But it's very interesting in this life of being a celebrity. You have to be careful to never lose control of your life. Not meaning control of your life, but control of what people think of you is what people think of you. But who you are can completely escape your grasp, just because everybody is going to think something online, and people are going to decide, and people are going to debate about things they don't know. And at a point, you become what the conversation, the narrative is set by other people. And it's very hard. The bigger you get, the more fans, the more people are obsessed about whatever they think about you, and the more people are invested in, the less you get the control on who you are in reality. And then you can read stuff and you're like, wow. And all this because everybody can give their opinion online. What I'm doing right now is nothing special. I mean, a couple of icons up there, a logo. This is not hard to do. I mean, it takes a few hours to do. And then one camera, you can use your phone, and you hit go live and you start talking. And because everybody can do it, everybody can find an audience. Everybody can find 10, 20, 100, 6,000, 10,000, 100,000 people who want to know what you have to say. And if what you have to say is interesting, then you have more and more and more and more people coming to listen all the time what you have to say, and then it becomes a place where they like to hang out. So if you have, I don't know, if you have 1 million people giving opinions about who you are, you can actually, if you start watching by curiosity, you might go crazy because you might succumb to who they want you to be, or who you want to prove you are, and then you get lost in your thing, and then you believe you are a role. You become a role. And I really believe that at that point, what he believes is just to take a step back. I think he has, and I don't know his situation, but I think he, other than all the projects he has, I think he has enough money to, he has the luxury to have enough money to kick back for a few months and just take care of himself, and regroup and let the people talk. Because in a few, it takes, like, the storm usually lasts 3-4 days. Then you have all the videos, then you have all the conversation, all the debates, all the internet psychoanalysts, all the internet judges, juries, etc. Everybody's gonna, and then it will die down, but everything stays online. So that's the beauty of it. But that's also the crazy part of it. Like I was saying, when I was 10 years old, you wanted to know what's going on in the world. According to the French, 8 p.m. from Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. You had an hour, I think, and you would know what's going on according to them. Their point of view, who's good, who's bad, who did what, and that's it. And everything would be kind of far away. There's a war in Ukraine now, and the soldiers are taking fucking stories as they are attacking places or getting attacked. People are, and you almost leave everything live. So it feels like you are everywhere at the same time. You are all around the world at the same time, living everything at the same time. And there's a comment box, and they want to know what you have to say. And if you say something, then there's some people, they go look what you said, and they go in the comment. And sometimes people debate from your comment. People are debating. Somebody say, yeah, you're right, and people insult each other under your comment. So you receive all these notifications, and you receive all the dopamine, all the adrenaline, and all the good and bad vibes from the world. And you kind of, unless you know how to let go sometimes, every time there's a notification, you take your phone and you watch. So you are never left alone. And this is actually very dangerous. I learned to let go. I post probably 2 or 3 times a day, but sometimes I just post 1 time, and sometimes I post 3 times in a week, and sometimes I don't post. I don't feel like the world is gonna forget about me if I don't post. I used to have the same feeling as everybody. If I don't post something today, they're gonna forget about me. And oh my God, if I post something and I only have like 10 likes, it means that people don't love me anymore. Like, all this is designed for you to feel like this. And interestingly, and I see my wife is the same now, She used to post a lot. She used to, care about, like, she used to have, like, really, like, I'm going to post exactly at this time because I know I'm going to have 5,000 likes and I'm going to have this, and then this brand will see it, then they will send me a message, etc. And slowly, she doesn't care anymore, because after years and years and years doing it, you realize that, yeah, it can be a business. It can be entertaining, but this is not real life. It is in a way real life, the real life of other people, but it's not your real life. Like, and it is not your, a lot of the people who are there are not even real in there. They're all a persona. And that's exactly what Will Smith was saying in his acceptance speech. It's like, I've been smiling for 30 years when I'm not smiling in reality, and I'm the good guy, I'm nice, da 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 da. Yeah, of course, but everybody has ups and downs, and yeah, it's a lot of people are there, exactly there. And a lot of people who are not rich, who are not famous, are also there because, listen, they have 500 followers on Instagram, and whatever they post, everybody's engaged, that community is engaged, and they have a micro celebrity, as we say, or they are micro influencers, and yeah, they have to post what they eat, they have to post the nice places they go, they have to post the nice moments all the time. And sometimes all of this is fake. It's just you getting caught on being somebody for strangers. And it is hard, especially when it's your job or when you make money from it, to not forget that we're talking about strangers. I'm lucky enough that I never had it's not that I never had. When I was younger on the first album, I was getting hurt by what things that people were saying. But to me, it's very interesting. It was never because, it was not because I believed what they say. It's just because I thought it was unfair. So it was more frustration. But from the get-go, I was like, listen, commenters are not real. I mean, they're real people, but yeah, it's just comments. It's just opinions. Like, when you do music or you create something, some people will like, another won't. It is what it is. Like, what you gonna do? Like, you're not gonna force everybody to love what you do. Some people, they're gonna be like, yeah, don't like it. It is what it is. And some people will be respectful, some others won't, because not everybody has your education. So when people are not respectful and they don't know how to express something without disrespecting you, all you can do is block them. It simplifies your thing. And I used to be scared of all that. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose a fan. I don't care. If you know how to talk and express yourself when you want to express a different idea than me, you're welcome to be here and discuss. If you don't know how to do it, I don't have to talk to you. It's something I learned quick in this business. Yeah, throw this. But anyway, all this to say, that it's easy to overdose. And yeah, I know my mind, how it is. And it's interesting how my mind loves to consume a lot of content, and then at a point when even before my mind reaches saturation, I'm just done by myself. I'm just like, okay, listen, I don't care anymore. And I look at my YouTube and it's interesting. The more you watch something on YouTube, the more YouTube gives you that. So of course I'm interested in geopolitics, what's going on, etc., and different opinions. But at a point, I open YouTube and that's all I see. And then I'm like, what happened to my YouTube? Where are my Apple tech videos? Where are my music stuff? Where are my podcast stuff? Where are the stuff that I'm really interested in? And the algorithm is like, nah, he wants Kanye Will Smith The War. And then I'm like, nah, all right. So now I watch only specific content so that my algorithms in 2-3 days go back to showing me the things I'm interested in now. And yeah, because I'm just tired of seeing people who don't care about contradicting themselves. Like, a lot of people don't care about contradicting themselves just because they want to be right of something or because they support somebody. Listen, even if my own blood brother was wrong about something, I would not be here trying to find reasons to excuse his actions. I would just say, no, doesn't work. And because if not, you contradict yourself. Like when you open your mouth in this world, in life in general, you have to remind yourself, what are my values? What do I stand for? What do I say usually about this, about that, about violence, about integrity, about loyalty, about etc., etc., etc. And am I able to go somewhere and start having conversations with people and completely contradicting all these values? I can't. But I realize a lot of people don't care. They just want to be right. So I'm just talking about me. I can't. So yeah, it is what it is, my good people. What do you think? Because I've been talking about myself and I wonder what you think. And not only what you think, but also who did see Jeen-Yuhs, the 3-part documentary about Kanye West on Netflix? Because that's what I want to talk about today. And my take is probably different than everybody. That's why I'm Mr. Shada. Noé-ton. Ouh, le Havre. Oh, ça date, putain. Ça fait trop longtemps, le Havre. Was Goody Rhyme 64. Hope you're good. You certainly need passions with kids. They always want something at the moment you want to do something. Listen. Nah, bro, you have 2 babies. Wait till they are 3 and 4. Just wait. Bruno is good. He's doing a cinema school because he wants to learn to be a director. So usually when Club Shada begins, he's already in bed, and he usually watches the replay. But it's great. It's great. Usually we have conversations about the show after. So yeah. Content oversaturation, bro. We get fatigued from consuming so much content. Yeah, listen, we do. But and it's interesting that whenever something happens, the first thing we do is spend countless hours eating all the content that is sent to us about it. So yeah, it's just habits. Malcolm Beast, my brother, how are you? I hope you're ready to go to your first Kizomba festival as a DJ. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the images. Tired is the mood of my weekend, and right now we are tired. Yeah, listen. Who's we? Who's we? Are you with somebody? Yeah. Oh, listen. It's normal. Like, and people know that people are interested in all this content, so people will create content for the people who want to watch content. So it makes sense. It's just that you have to be able to control your, like sometimes, like I'm tired. So you just stop listening. Joel, that's how we were raised. So to us, standing for our values is something. It's not even that it makes sense. So for us, it's natural because that's how we were raised. But the more and more I realize that a lot of people don't care about all that. Like, values, what's that? Like, it's like, listen. I saw Jeen-Yuhs and I enjoyed it from a musical perspective. Documentaries are interesting because they always have a narrative based on who is telling the story. Yes. Listen. That's exactly what I want to talk about. Oh, miskin. So listen. When Jeen-Yuhs came out, and so Sumia called me and she was very excited and she was like, yo, did you watch it? We have to talk about it. We have to debrief. Sumia and I, when we have our long phone calls, she was like, yeah, we have to talk about the whole thing. We have to, et cetera, et cetera. And I was exactly on where I am right now with Ukraine, Will Smith, but about Kanye. I was done hearing about Kanye, Pete, Kim, and etc. I was just, it's too much. It's too much. I want to clear my mind from all that. And in the contrary to a lot of people, when a lot of people are talking about something, a lot of people, they want to go and watch a documentary, or they're going to go listen to the music. And this is why a lot of people believe that there's no such thing as bad publicity. As long as people are talking about you, it's good, you're there. You see what I mean? It's good, distant shadow. So, me, I'm a little different. When too much people are talking about something, and it's the subject that even me, I'm reading about it, I'm watching videos about it, there's a point where I'm like, I'm done. Especially if it's negative stuff. I get to that point where I'm like, yo, listen, I'm tired of you, bro. Like, yo. And I have this with Kanye all the time. I really respect him as a musician. And I understand that he is on his own path and his own stellar trajectory. But just sometimes I'm not a kind of person, because I've been around people like him. I'm not a kind of person who excuses everything just because somebody is a genius in music or in art. And I tend to enjoy the art when I want, but most times I'm just gonna be like, yo, listen, this guy is just, Yeah, he's going through it. I'm out. Read a little bit, talk about it maybe in the show, and then at a point I'm just like, listen, that's too much. That's too much. I'm done. And that's exactly how I was. So when I'm done, I don't even want to listen to music. I don't want to. I'm just done with the subject and that person and their art. That's me. Some people is the opposite. But you have no idea how dry is my throat. So when she told me you have to watch it, I was like, nah, sis. Right now I'm just over that guy. And but she told me, yeah, you really have to watch it. And a lot of people were telling me, oh, listen, you have to watch it. You're gonna love it. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll watch it. So when I went to, I'm sorry, I'm tired. So when I went to Brussels, on my way to Brussels, actually, I watched the first episode and I really enjoyed it. It was really a nice documentary. Then I watched the second episode when I came back from Brussels, and then I watched the third one from home probably a week after. And I really have I don't think Jeen-Yuhs is a documentary about Kanye. I believe Jeen-Yuhs is a documentary about Kudi. So Kudi is the person who films him for 20 years, who is his childhood friend from Chicago, who believed in him, left what he was doing, and started filming him. And to me, who have been around people like Kanye, not only I believe it's a documentary about him, but I also believe it's a documentary about selfless friends. People who, no matter what they do, they will flock to you, stick to you, no matter how you treat them. And then they will come and always come back and always try, even when they are disappointed in you, they will find all the reasons why. They will talk about God, they will talk about, but they will always be there. And when you are in your darkest times, when instead of remembering how you treated them, they will just jump on a plane and be whenever you need them, wherever you need them. And they are not yes men, but they are the people who, without being culprits, they kind of prevent you from learning. Hello, Dahlia. They kind of prevent you from learning how to treat people decently. And in a way, from a certain point of view, you need those friends. You need to have people like this, soldiers. When you need them, they're here. And to me, after the first episode, or maybe in the middle of the second episode, I was like, okay, this is about himself growing up and watching Kanye through the lens of his point of view. And I've seen guys like this around a few artists that I know. And they are good and bad for those artists. because when you treat somebody in a certain way, so when you treat them good and they come with you, they believe in you, etc. But when you start treating them differently because now you are a mega star, they're gonna feel away, and then they're gonna just grow apart from you, not gonna see you for a few years. And when you have problems and you call them, they just arrive. But it feels like you are using them a little bit. To me, that's how I felt. I felt like you got people, they want to be used by the geniuses. They want to be a tool of the life of other people. And he was seeing himself doing his first show, Channel Zero, the birth of his child. You see his family and his life changing around Kanye. And I loved the documentary. It's very interesting to see, but at the same time, me, instead of thinking, oh wow, amazing, oh Kanye amazing, oh my God, he's been all this time, he's been da. I don't think the documentary really was about that, because it was not a documentary where somebody is speaking about Kanye this, Kanye that. It was when I met Kanye and when we did this and me and this is it and all. Then I met my wife. That, like, it's kind of my life around a genius of art. And that's very interesting to see. Like, so that was my take watching it. I'm going to go into a little bit of details, but then let's see. I think the new song Kilulu is popping. Thank you so much. I think Kanye was always obsessive about his art. However, it became amplified as he got more eyes on him. A lot of his current behaviors aren't necessarily new. Yep, that's exactly one of the things I took from the documentary. I remember a few of the things he was saying in the first thing. I think when the thing starts, he's a young cat, but he's already making money doing beats, working for Rockefeller, etc. And people want to see him as a beat maker, but he knows he never doubted himself, which is actually great. The only problem is it's not a problem. He always saw himself as a god. I don't think it's a problem. It's just that the more money you have, and I was speaking with a friend today about another friend who, listen, in our industry, there's not that much money in the Zouk Kizomba industry. There's a lot of money, but it's not that much money. Like, we're not talking about multi-million dollars. I mean, some of us made some good money, but we're not talking about, artists with 20 million, 25 million dollars in their bank account. Like, that's what I mean. But still, you don't need a lot of money to go crazy. You just need a little bit of fame. And interestingly, I know some people, they always thought highly of themselves. But then when they had money, they kind of took a revenge on life and a revenge on people. Oh yeah, I couldn't have any girl. Now I'm gonna fuck all of them. Oh Yeah, I used could not be able to go in the club. Now I'm going free everywhere. So I'm coming with a bunch of people. Yeah, and when I'm there, I want this and I want that, and I want to be treated a certain way, and etc. Like, and some people are taking revenge. And now, yeah. Oh, I like your girl. I'm taking her. Like, and I've seen this so many times. And I think it was very interesting to see, and I think it was very inspiring to see and to recognize the drive. Because it's the drive that at the same age as Kanye, I had that drive. It's not that you know you're going to make it, but you know you deserve to make it. And you are ready to put the work in, to take the train, to take the car, to go in other countries, to just do what it takes to arrive there. I know that drive. I recognize that drive. This is the drive of the people who are destined to win. And there was moments in the documentary where, you know, it was just, he knew he had the vision. He knew where he wanted to go, and he knew that whatever the shell that he was in was not enough for him. And then when he got there, the next shell was not enough very early, and it grew and grew and grew and grew. And this is something I recognize because that's where I've been my whole life. Every time I'm somewhere, people want to reduce me to, making beats, rapping, etc. And then I prove people time and time and time again that I can be more than what they think, etc. So I completely understand that part. And I think that part was super interesting in the documentary. And then there's the relationship with the mother. The relationship with his mother is very interesting. You can feel that his mother was the canalist, somebody who would make something out of what he, like, you know, one day when I was at Sony Music, a dear friend of mine, who's actually somebody who mentored me at a point, told me, you are going in every direction and you have to learn how to do one thing at a time and finish it. And this really helped me in not being frustrated, because I was trying to do so many things at the same time that I was just doing 10% of everything. And 20 years after, that same person told me, yo, you know, it's crazy because I remember telling you, you have to not do everything at the same time. But in the last 20 years, not only you learn to do everything one by one, but then you learn to do everything at the same time and finish everything. So I'm even more surprised. And you just exceeded every expectation, because now, listen, from podcast to YouTube, to music, to mixing, to making beats, to rapping, to singing, to this, to that, different languages. Like, I was like, yo. And you have some people like that in this world where they will be misunderstood their whole life, and they have to learn that. They have to understand that and just decide to live with that. And at the same time, those same people they have to also learn to not speak Chinese to people who speak English. And I feel like I've been frustrated like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I remember the frustrations where I was speaking things and I was like, how they don't understand. It's just there. It's logic. It's in front of their eyes. And then I understood. I'm speaking Chinese to them. The things that I see, they will only see them in 7 years, no matter what I do. So I have to learn to move differently so that instead of waiting for people to do the things, I do them myself for me, and I let people do what they have to do. And once I understood that, I started being way less frustrated about other people. And I was like, yo, it's your business, it's your career, you do what you want. But I know a lot of people have been saying that since his mother passed, Kanye has been erratic, etc. I believe, yeah, it's a trauma. But one thing that I take from the documentary is that, sadly, or not, if you believe that he's not crazy, he's just somebody who is on a different level mentally and on a different cosmic trajectory. If you believe it, and if you believe both, actually, you see in that documentary from episode 1 that this is nothing new. It's just, whether it's the money or something else, he has just been getting more and more of what he was already. It's a cool documentary. It's very interesting because I like the fact that Kudi is very honest in his documentary. From the moment where he would be a selfless friend to the moment where he would be frustrated, to the moments where they grew apart, to the moments where he comes back. There's this you can see a little bit that at a point he opens his eyes, and he opened his eyes and he realizes that that person that he grew up with and he knew when he was a teen, at 42, is not the same person anymore. It's normal. We all change. We all just evolve into a different part of ourselves. One needs to move on without resentment. I regret buying this chair. It's always making noise. So yeah. And then you have part 3 when he started changing. He changed girlfriends. He went from now he's with Kim Kardashian, and then he became a billionaire, and he owns all these brands, and he actually has a cult. He has a cult following, and he kinds of know what he wants from people, and he knows that he can get what he wants from people. So he has kind of there's a point where he's talking with Rick Rubin, and you can hear how he's a little tyrannic, like a lot of sometimes people who are geniuses, or they know exactly what they need so much, and what they need from people, and what you need as well, that they kind of force you in a direction. Steve Jobs was like that. Most of the people who are deemed game changers, they're like that. They know how to persuade people in a certain way. And then you start seeing him believing that all the presidential stuff and all all the craziness that goes, is part of a plan, and that people don't understand. And he kind of has a justification for everything, and it's very interesting to see, because I've seen that before. And to come back to, if you have questions or opinions, don't hesitate to say something in the chat. I know you love my voice, but yeah, don't worry. In 1996 was the first time I went on tour with Jean-Michel Rotin, when he was, and he is still considered as one of the genius musicians from Guadeloupe. And I remember that the people around him were exactly like Cudi with Kanye. Selfless. And his comportment, do we say comportment? His behavior was also the same as Kanye with these people and with people in general. He knew what he wanted. He knew his value as an artist, and he. I remember one time I'm in my room in his friend's apartment, and we're on tour, and we just arrived. We've been there for a few days only, and we are in the Bemao in Guadeloupe, in Christian's house, and I don't know, we hear him yelling about something with his girlfriend. At the time, we had no clue. We were in our rooms, but we heard him, and then we hear him slamming the door, so we don't know. And then we don't hear from him for 2-3 days, so we look for him. And so imagine, I was born in Congo, then I grew up in France, and I don't speak Creole at that time, and I'm not from Guadeloupe, so I know my way. I know how to get to I remember how to get the bus to go to that girl that I met in the club, and that other girl that I met in the show, and that other girl. That's all I know. And I know how to go to Place de la Victoire, get some bouquet, and come back. That's all I know. Everything else, I stay at home, and I watch TV, I watch BET, and when it's time to go perform, I get in the car and I get driven somewhere. And then I take the microphone, I do my thing, get paid, and come back to the house. That's all I know at that time. So imagine you are 10,000 kilometers away from home, and then somebody disappears on you. And that's exactly what happened with Jean-Michel. I was there with Michael from Advertise. So we were all dancing for him and rapping in his shows. And after that altercation with his girlfriend, he just disappeared. That's good, Rodrigo. He just disappeared. And he disappeared for, I don't even know how long. 3 weeks? Something like that. Maybe more. And I remember everybody from his team and friends and everybody that were part of his the guy who used to work for him at the studio, the guy who used to dance with us, like his people from Guadeloupe. They would have all sorts of excuses for him. And me, I was like, wait a minute. Like, who takes us out of where we live, takes us out of Paris, brings us here in Latin America, in the other side of the world, in the Caribbean, and then disappears for 3 weeks? And what I'm supposed to be happy? I was pissed off. I was like, yo, listen. And yeah, everybody was like, no, you know, that's the way it is. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody had all the excuses in the world. And we had a song that was number 1 called Tour. And at a point, we met some guy. The guy said, yo, I'm looking for the people who sing this song. Turns out it was us. All of a sudden, we're on tour. We're doing our thing by ourselves. And I remember that when we decided to do our thing by ourselves, my half, the people I brought from Paris, they were down for anything. His people, they were like, I don't know. It's only when I said, listen, I'm going to take the money, whether you want it or not. We're supposed to make, I don't remember the prices, but let's imagine that in the money of that time, we're going to make 1,000 each per show, and there's 40 shows. So I don't mind getting 160K and split it in 2. And I take 80K and Mike takes 80K, and we're gonna sing your songs for you. We don't care. It's only now everybody signed a contract and then we went. But those people, they were kind of scared to do anything until their masters came back. And I was like, yo, what's wrong with these people? And interestingly, when he came back from tour, we were now famous. Mind you, it's 96. So when he came back from tour, we are doing our thing. So he arrived at one of our shows, and interestingly, instead of being pissed, we were excited to show him what we did while he was away. And he included our show inside of his show. Now we were his opening act, which was great. So we asked a raise, etc. All was cool. But then it disappeared again. The next year, we went there again. We were at a friend's house, and this friend didn't even know we were coming. And he still took us in, because those are people who are a little bit manipulative. And I was seeing this with Kanye. I've seen him manipulate a few people inside of the documentary at certain points. And it's not that they're mind controlling you. It's just that they explain to you that you can do what you want, but they actually don't really give you a choice. And at a point, it disappears again. And I called a meeting between everybody, between the whole team. And I was like, listen, I think we should do this. I think we should move on from the album. And when he comes, he's going to fill in the blanks. We're going to leave some space for him to sing, or maybe we're going to put some raps in there. And if he arrives and he's ready to do the thing, we do the thing. If he doesn't arrive, listen, he'll take the next train. That was my way of thinking at that time. I mean, still my way of thinking, but. And I had half of the team not willing to feel like they were betraying him. And me, I was like, nobody's betraying nobody. We are being betrayed. The guy disappeared on us. Like, we are in the West Indies. We've been here for a month. Like, if we were not smart and didn't know how to make our own money, we would be here. We don't even know how to get back home, because he's the one who bought our tickets. And people are like, no, I don't know. And that's how I met my mentor who told me, after listening to me talking, he said, you know, you're a leader and leaders don't follow people. And I was like, what? And that's how I moved to South America in Guyana, in French Guiana. And I started working on my solo project because I was just tired of that. And then when he reappeared after a few months and called me because he needed me to rap here or rap there, I said, yeah, send me the instrumentals, or I'll come back for a day or two and I will just come record everything the same night, all the raps, write them and record them, and then go back. And for him, it was strange because he was used to everybody doing whatever he wants. And me, I was not that guy, because I was another person who believes in what he was doing and what was his destiny. I believed in that. And it's not a question of not being humble. I was always a humble person. It's just that I also did believe. I mean, listen, those who know me from a kid, they know, like, I was always an eccentric kid. I always had strange haircuts. I always had like sunglasses, like from very, very young. And I remember that when he came back and I told him that I could not do such and such and such things, not because I didn't want to, but because I already had interviews scheduled, album presentation here, one show here, one show there. He didn't understand. He was like, yo, the crew is more important than your stuff. And I was like, nah, my stuff is more important than the crew. And I'm not a selfless friend. Like, you have to be worth my time and my love if you want my love back. And you have to treat me a certain way if you want me to stay around you. And what I take from this documentary with Kudi is that he's a guy who was willing. And listen, I'm not criticizing, I'm just giving you the perspective on how I've watched this documentary. He was willing to let go everything he was doing to follow another guy and film him. I don't know if he was paid to do it. I don't know when he started getting paid, or I don't know. I know that he got paid well by Netflix. I think they give him 30 million to finally finish this whole documentary. But what up, Teka? I just see that yeah, you know, I just believe that when people treat me a certain way, I'm not gonna just continue to treat them selfless. That's not me. But I remember that after a few years, you know, my album comes out, it's super successful, he sings in my album, everything is great, Then it disappears a little bit, and then he reappears in the same label where I was. And when he arrives in the label where I was, and he decides that his album will come out in December, everybody, all the artists were scared to release an album the same day as him. That's how big he was to the psyche of the people from the West Indies. For them, he is one of those artists, and they see him like this, and they are it feels like a lot of them are not able to think straight when it comes to him, and to tell him, because I remember listening to the album and saying, I think it's missing a few hits. I think it's missing a little bit of direction, this. And people were like, are you crazy? This, that. Like, and I was like, no, I'm just telling you what I think. And I remember talking to Nichols that day, and Nichols was like, oh, no, I'm moving my album in 2 months. I don't want to come out the same day as him. And me, I was like, oh, I'm releasing Elijah's album same month as him, because, listen, I'm not changing my dates for other people. I trust in what I do. And yeah, it gave me all those vibes when I was watching this documentary. And it really feels like it's a documentary about, of course, something that his mom said that was very interesting. His mom said there's a lot of Kanye's in his head. And this, those type of details that people don't really realize. He always had a lot of voices in his head, and he always was a good terrain for the bipolar stuff and some people without filters, that's how they are. They just, they have no filter. So they just say what they feel saying, and the problem is they also get angry way more than they should, and when they go on tweet storms, it's whole hell break loose, and especially when you are as big as he is. And we've been seeing this, like a lot of these artists, and a lot of these artists that I know as well, they all had kind of mental breakdowns. I don't know if it's because they cannot process everything their brain is and their soul is giving them. Maybe the body is not enough, or if because it's just too much pressure from too many places, because they are what they are. And it's very interesting to see in a documentary. I watched this documentary, and at the end of the documentary, I didn't feel like I've learned anything major. It didn't change my opinion about Kanye. I was just like, it was a cool documentary. It's great to see how somebody is grinding and nobody wants to believe in it, and they are just able. They are even ready to invest themselves in their own stuff until they catch the attention finally of the right people. This is something I really loved about him and his hustle. He really deserves all the success he had, because he really put the time. He was there, most of the time ignored, but he just kept coming at it. He never lost the eyes on the prize. And this is also a good lesson for a lot of artists. A lot of artists, they abandon quick, especially these days. Put some rainbows in the chat if you're still here and you enjoy it. I'm going to sleep soon. What was I saying? Let me watch what you say. Leaders lead. Let the leader lead. You remember that song from Eric B and Rakim? Crazy, man. A milliardaire, I hope you're good. I think I hope it inspires this documentary, and I think you should see it. I hope it inspires people who have a dream and believe in themselves to never give up when you see that somebody who is now the most acclamated artist of our generation, when you realize that this person is now at the top of the top of the top of the top of the game, and he just won 2 Grammys. Congratulations to him. And when you see him, once you know where he is today in terms of success, and how he actually is somebody who impacted culture on a different level, it's the kind of documentary you want to see about how he arrived there and how he believed when no one believed, and how also there was a group of people who believed as well, and a lot of those people are still with him today. They're still there, they're still working with him, they're still benefiting from, and they are his inner circle, but they also seen him change from getting all this money, getting all these women, getting all this fame, getting all these accolades, and getting all the teams of yes men who are here for the business, who are here for the money, etc. And those are changes that are inherent to business. But if there's 2 takes away that you have to take from these documentaries, those 2. You're gonna have a lot of people who don't believe in you, and you might not make it. But lesson number 1, believe in yourself and keep believing in yourself. Lesson number 2, work hard and don't give up. And lesson number 3, document everything. Listen, I'm so happy that I'm at vlog 870 something, and that if one day I want to do a documentary about my career as a musician, we can go, I think, until 2005 and maybe before, and there's a lot of footage on my YouTube channel. You don't even need to go and look. It's on my YouTube channel. You can just go and type vlog number 10 and try to see where I was and what I was doing, etc. That's amazing to have all these content, because a lot of these superstars and artists in general, and a lot of them, all of us, we have a life story. We have how we got there, how we moved in there, how we arrive on the top of there, and we have it in our memories, in our soul, in our heart, but it kind of fades with time. If you had somebody who filmed the whole history of you getting there, conversation, beefs, moments where you don't agree with something, etc., etc. You have somebody who filmed everything from the beginning, and at that point you can make it a 6-hour movie, if not more, 7-hour movie. That's amazing. It was not 7 hours, 6 hours, 5 and something. That's amazing. But you need to have you need to think about it. You need to start documenting it, and that's beautiful that they thought about it. And to me, it's a testament to how a visionary artist is. People used to love the word genius loosely. I don't know if he's a genius, but one thing is sure, he has an impact on the culture, and he's a visionary artist. He knows, he sees the things, he see visual and sensorial and audio revolution in his head, and he knows how to turn them into classic music. This nobody can take away from him. After that, some people love him so much they will accept and excuse everything, and some others, like, they're gonna be like, yeah, cut the bullshit. But yeah, it is what it is. I didn't watch the Grammys, but I've seen the list. I've seen that he won actually. He won 2 Grammys, I think, for best rap songs, I think. Forgot. But I know he won 2. Peace. I forgot which one, but there was a lot of Grammys given. I didn't know it was so much stuff. That's interesting to go to Las Vegas for the Grammys. There's so much things you can do in there. Best comedy album, Louis C.K. Look at that, nice. I was looking at, but give me your opinions on everything I just said, because I'm about to go to sleep. But I'd love to know what you think, and if you're gonna look at this documentary, I don't know if you have Netflix. Trust me, you should look at it. It's very interesting. It gives you an interesting perspective in the work that you have to put to become an artist, a successful artist. I know there was Kanye somewhere. Maybe I should just search for it. Kanye. Oh, there you go. He was asked not to perform at the ceremony before troubling online behavior. Okay, okay. He had best melodic rap performance with Hurricane and best rap song with Jail. Actually, that's one of my favorite songs from his album. Well, look at that. Congrats to him and all his team for winning 2 Grammys and not being invited at the Grammys. Wow, that's crazy. But it is what it is. Sometimes, you have to pay the consequences of your actions. If not, it's anarchy. So listen, that's all I had for you tonight. I'm really sorry, but allergies and lack of sleep I really had a long day. But yeah, I will continue giving you more perspective from inside, like you said, Joel. I've seen empires, musical empires, be born, explode, and implode. So I really know what it takes to create a legacy, something that is timeless, and I also know how people destroy it. I've seen some people, they could only win, and patatrack. It's crazy. Yeah, some people, it is what it is, Don't lose faith in yourself. Exactly. Thing is this, the last person who should lose faith is you. You know how many people I know that everybody around them have faith and they don't in themselves. There's a lot of people like that in this world, and especially in the music and art world. People that they, yeah, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in their ability to make it, and it's the people around them who have faith. And how you gonna work hard if you don't believe? And yeah, seen it. No. It makes sense that the guy who taped the whole saga was getting paid for his work. Yeah, of course. Listen, him and his partner got paid, yeah, a good 30 million for the documentary, I think. So, yeah, listen, it's an amazing bet when you think about it. You left your city to go follow and film a friend and just document, have hundreds and hundreds of tapes about this guy and his rise to Icarus to burn in the sun. And after 20 years of doing this, there you go, the reward. So, but it's interesting, you know, when I did when I started uploading videos to my YouTube channel, even if I didn't have somebody to film, it was kind of the same thing. I was just documenting everything because I was like, yeah, listen, I want everybody to see it. I want everybody to know, like, especially the people who don't have access, like the people, etc., etc. And when I look at it now, and I can find some old shows, or I can find some moments in time with people, and I'm like, wow, it's so amazing that I documented all of this, all of these moments with all of these people. I'm glad that I did. I'm really glad that I did. But anyway, listen, if you enjoyed this conversation together about Jeen-Yuhs, a Kanye Trilogy, and you didn't see it, I really urge you to go see it. It's really very interesting, and trust me, I'm not a fan. I'm not somebody who's a Kanye fanatic, so I really went to watch it, not really knowing if I would watch the whole thing, and I watched everything, so it means that you can go and watch it. On this, I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed that show. If you did, make sure that you put me some unicorns in the chat, and I hope that you learned something and then you got inspired by this content that is brought to you by Shada, where the gods of good fortune. Thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel, and I'm gonna leave you a little early because if I'm gonna fall asleep talking. I'm gonna leave you with something old. I'm gonna leave you with a track from my first album. That's what I feel like playing, and I'm gonna choose from my first album a track called Around the Global, which is a track that I recorded in 1997, and I also produced. And it's a track featuring Jean-Michel Rotin and Mike Giorgi and Rokenza. And it was recorded in South America, in French Guiana, in Cayenne, at Studio 3S. And I had somebody come and play some nice guitars that I had in my head and augment the music, and actually the instrumental was not supposed to sound this way, but one sample got mixed with another one. And then when I hit play, I was like, oh, that's not right. But I was like, yo, this sounds great. And that's how this song became what it is today. Damn, those girls. Es barulho, ¿por qué? I live with people. They only know how to make noise. I don't know why. Listen, Around the Globe, 1998 from the first album. Enjoy it.
The bad life, use up stay, Saka chauffé. Me and my crew, she used stay in the bush. Put my feet in the sand, forget Flatbush. I mean, hey yo. Now let me take my breath in the West Indies. I'm already forget my vest, live the winter. For you fool, and yes, yo, you know, she's always do. Peace out to all my peeps in Guyana. Best kisses go to all the girls coming from China. Sunrises, pour water on my body. I get the knapsack, put on the back, and I'm ready. Rap city, I leave my footprints in Times Square. I'm melty like media, and I feel the atmosphere. It's that cool chico that walk around the global. Got friends, even the popo know that Rafael Lorenzo.
D'autres style, aucun bizarre palais. Démarrer chaîne, la laisser bœuf, la aller. Preview sans bail, qu'à tracer avec Shogun. Sans flanc, sans dos cool, qu'à chailler tout le monde. Caribbean style, we got a profile. Avec en musique qui sortit au canal. Symbole de liberté, caminer, voyager. Avec les oiseaux voler, avec les poissons nager.
Non, faut pas partir. Non, non. Côté ça, me m'y attire. Yeah, si vous voulez partir, yeah, on se l'a mon ami.
On se l'a pour toutes l'humanité.